good evening. We've been doing a session at Blunstone Village Hall, Wednesday wind down. So this is my Wednesday wind down from home. We're going to focus on let go and release. We've been thinking a lot about bringing in positive energy and enthusiasm, setting intention and creating purpose. For us to do that, to bring in new ideas, we need to let go and release some of the old stuff. We need to make space. So it's a bit like giving something to Shiva so that Brahma can create something new. So tonight is a lighter session focused on sensation of let go. We're going to use a little bit of effort just to help us really feel the other side of that, the release. So we're going to start semi-supine. The only thing you really need is something like a sarong or a belt or a strap that you can use in your practice. A yoga belt is fine, but if you don't have that, any kind of scarf would be fine. A block maybe for sitting if you have one, or a cushion, and that's all you need. So we're going to lay down semi-supine to start with. So your knees are bent, your feet are on the floor. And just take a few breaths here before we do anything else. So close the eyes. Maybe sigh away your breath. Start to let go of your day. The clearest way that we feel sensations of letting go is through our exhalation. So really focus on your exhale. Maybe elongate your exhalation a little bit. And notice how you feel throughout the exhale, how you feel yourself softening and dropping, releasing. And then try taking a big inhalation and retaining that inhale for a few seconds. So when you're ready, you take a deep breath in. Retain it. And then let it go very, very slowly, like a soft sigh. And then you do the same thing again. You take a huge inhale. Retain it. Slow exhale. Again, a huge inhale. Retain it. Long, slow exhale. And you're just feeling yourself letting go of pressure and stress and tension as you exhale. Let's do one more. So huge inhale. With retention. Slowly exhale. Good. Notice how you feel. You'll feel better already, a little softer, and more connected to the exhalation. That's going to be really important in this practice. When you're ready, align your feet so they're hip distance apart, and just check that the outer edges of your feet are aligning with the edges of your yoga mat. So your feet are parallel, just hip distance apart. We're going to press into the feet and lift the hips away from the floor. You don't have to lift very far here, so you don't need to create any stress or strain. You root down into your feet. Be mindful that you don't widen your knees as you come into this. So keep the knees aligning with your hips, with your toes. Press down. You might have to engage your inner leg lines a little bit to stop the knees dropping out to the side. You open your belly space, the fronts of your thighs. Your arms can rest at your side. You can have your hands on your belly, or you could take your arms up and over your head. So wherever you're comfortable. We're just hovering here. So you're not straining, you're breathing space into your belly. Releasing tension away from your back as you exhale. You keep breathing, long inhale. Long exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale. We'll take another 2 breaths. So you start to feel that you're efforting a little bit to maintain the position. You keep your breathing nice and even. You can keep your eyes closed. If you have your arms up over your head, you'll bring your arms back to your sides. And then we're going to come down very, very slowly. So you feel just that you drop your breastbone first. So your upper back softens down. And then you drop your ribs, your navel, your pelvis. And you just let yourself roll down, and you feel the weight of your pelvis, your sacrum. You take a breath or two and you notice what you're releasing here, how your lower back relaxes, your glutes, your hip extensors will relax. You take one more breath. And then when you feel that you're ready, you can just bring your knees in towards you, hug in. If you've had a bad day, really give yourself a hug here, like a reassuring hug. And when you're ready, you can bring yourself slowly up to sitting. You can roll up or you can roll over onto one side and give yourself a little press to come up. And we just bring ourselves to sitting here. We're going to do some work to release the shoulders. So you can sit in Sukhasana or Siddhasana. You can kneel. You can put your legs out straight in front of you. Ideally, you'll have your spine aligned, your back nice and long. And just take a breath or two here. I want you to bring your fingertips to the floor alongside your hips. And then when you're ready, just bring your right arm out and in front of you. So it's at about shoulder height, not straining or stressing, but soften the arm, relax the hand, and just hold it here for a moment or two. So there's just a bit of effort to hold the arm. Just focus on your breathing, a long inhale. A long exhale, and again a long inhale. And a long exhale. And then take the arm a little bit higher. You keep your eyes closed and you let the arm lengthen up alongside your ear, but try not to bring too much stress into your shoulder. So you're not pulling your shoulder up towards your ear. You're keeping the upper arm bone dropping or falling into your shoulder, and you just hold it here for a moment. And take a long inhale again. The eyes are closed. And again, long inhale. Long exhale. One more. And then just out to the side at shoulder height. And leave the arm here. You can soften the hand and the wrist. And just allow it to suspend. And you breathe again. Focus on smooth, even breathing. For one more breath. And then very, very slowly let the arm lower and all the way down. And try and allow all of the stress and the tension around your right shoulder to just drain away through that right arm. And notice how it feels here. If your right shoulder feels lower than your left shoulder, softer. And then you just do the same thing to the other side. So your left arm just comes out in front of you and you let your arm suspend here. With eyes closed is best, and you focus on your breath. So again, really spacious around your inhale. And softening as you exhale. With each exhale we can let go of whatever we need to let go of. So it might be tension or stress. It might be some anxiety or some irritation. You can take the arm all the way up, so the arm is vertical alongside your ear, and you just breathe here. One more. And then out to the side at shoulder height. It's parallel to the floor horizontal. And you breathe here. And then just very, very slowly, you let the left hand come down. And again, we feel that any tension in the shoulders just drains away, just pours down the arm and into the ground. So both shoulders feel softer and lower. And you take one more breath here. Good. So with the shoulders softer and more relaxed, we'll transition over and onto our hands and knees. So you come into tabletop pose, Balanasana. And you find your foundation, spread your fingers, tuck your toes under. And lift your knees here just a couple of inches away from the floor. So your knees are hovering. Feels easy enough to begin with. Your shoulders stay more or less over your wrists. And you'll feel your center firm, supporting your position. You keep breathing. You start to feel after a few breaths that there's just a little challenge here to keep the breathing regular, even. Your knees are still hovering. We'll take, if we can, 2 more breaths. One more. Then when you're ready, you slowly put the knees down. Try and touch both knees down together. Untuck your toes and soften back into child's pose. You feel your shoulders relax as you sit back. A little rock. Soften into your hips. Soften your ribs down towards your thighs. Your forehead down towards the floor. Sometimes it really benefits just to lift again and to use the fingertips to help you draw your heart forward, as if you're just taking your ribs a little bit further forward over your thighs, and then you go back down and into your balasana. And again, just let the upper back and the shoulders soften. Let the elbows drop down. And you take a few breaths here, breathing into your back. We'll take 2 or 3 more breaths. So this is the perfect place to soften and to let go. If you feel stressed or challenged or emotional or anxious, child's pose is always a really good place to come. We feel supported and held here by the ground. There's a really nice connection to earth energy here. When you're ready, you bring yourself up. And we're coming into a downward facing dog, but really, really slowly. So try not to really launch or thrust yourself into the pose, but just increase pressure moving down into your hands and into your toe roots, and you'll feel that you just float up into your downward facing dog. Now you soften your elbows, you let your head hang, and bend your knees a little bit. Close your eyes, and we're going to stay in our downward dog for a few breaths here. Try and really let the head hang. Sit bones creep up a little bit higher, heels creep down a little bit lower. Regulate your breath. Three more if you can. Two more. One more. Good. You walk your feet forward towards your hands. You draw your heart forward, so you lift your breastbone, you open your frontal space, and when you're ready, you drop down into Uttanasana. So you just let the head hang. Now maybe give the head a little shake out, release your neck. Your fingertips can stay on the floor, or you can bring your hands to your elbows. Now try and let go of any stress or tension that accumulated in your shoulders during your downward facing dog. If you need a modification for Uttanasana, you can lean on your thighs. You can just support yourself here. So all of those variations are fine. We stay here and we breathe. You can try sighing. You try and let go a bit more with each exhale. You feel that your upper arm bones are just hanging from your shoulders, your head hangs from your neck, your spine from your pelvis. One more breath. Good. We're dropping down and into Malasana, so you might heel toe your feet a touch wider, turn the toes out a few degrees and drop your hips down. You can use a block or blocks underneath your heels here if you need some support. It's best that your heels release down. So use some support. You can roll up your mat, you could use a towel, anything that you have at hand just to support your heels if they don't drop all the way down to the floor. We take a few breaths here in Malasana. Now if you can, bring yourself up and onto your toe roots for a moment or two. You can use your fingertips here to support you as you come up onto your toe roots, or you can just use the strength in your feet to bring you up and into a Malasana toe balance. So it's not an easy position, but see if you can hold there for a moment or two. Fingertips on the floor if you need to. Good. And then just notice how good it feels to release the heels down, either all the way into the floor or back into your support. How that unlocks your hips, how it releases your lower back. And take one more breath. You lower the seat down. Bring the soles of your feet together so you come into what is butterfly pose. You lift your heart to begin with, so you make space, and then you release all the way forward. and over your legs. Just like in our child's pose, sometimes it really helps just to lift and lengthen, create a bit more space, and then soften all the way back down again. Now, if you want to support your head, if it's difficult for you to relax your neck, you can use cushions or blankets or a block to support your head so you can really release your neck. Or you might find that for you, just having the head hanging, so you can really feel the weight of the head and the traction out through your spine works best. So experiment and come into the version that feels best for you. For some of you, your head might drop all the way down to the floor, but be very careful that you're not pulling yourself down. It's just release. It's just a giving to gravity. It's a letting go rather than a forcing. So we stay here for a few breaths. You breathe into your back here, into your back ribs, into your side ribs, your kidney space, your upper back. You seek out all of the tight spots with your breath, and you use your inhalation to create space around the tight spot. And your exhalation to rinse that tight spot away. When we're ready, we bring ourselves up slowly. Gradually restack the spine. And we bring ourselves all the way down and onto our backs again. So we come back into semi-supine. And for this part, we're going to use our sarong or our belt. And we're going to take the right leg all the way up and into, in some ways, when you're going to be in this for a while, a sarong or a scarf is nicer. I think it's just a little softer on the hand than maybe using the strap or the yoga belt. So make sure that it's comfortable for you. We're going to be here for a moment or two. You can keep your left leg bent, or you can straighten your left leg all the way down. And you don't need to feel any stress or strain here. You just want to feel a bit of light opening through the back of your right leg. Long inhale. Try and hold the sarong or the strap in such a way that you're not pulling your right shoulder up and away from the floor too much. And in a way where you're not having to really bend your arm, so you're not engaging your biceps. Long inhale. And a long exhale. And again. Now take the the scarf away without lowering or bending your legs. You just kind of unhook your foot, you leave the leg in place. And then very, very slowly we're going to lower this leg down. Now just closing your eyes, and we'll lower for the count of 5 here. So it's just very, very slow. So keeping the eyes closed and lowering 1/5 of the way. 5. And then 4. And 3. And 2. And on 1, just hover slightly off the ground for a moment, just slightly away from the floor. And then with your next breath, slowly lower all the way down to the floor. And I'm sure that for most of us, the sensation there is interesting. The floor is maybe much further away than you expect. You take a breath, you soak up those sensations, and then when you're ready, bend your right leg and put the right foot on the floor. Bring your left leg up and take the strap around your left foot. And again, just make sure that it's comfortable for you, the way that you're holding here. Wrap around your hand is always nice. We don't have to grip quite as hard then. You're not bending your elbow, your arm is pretty much straight, so you're not having to engage your biceps, and you're still able to drop your left shoulder down. If you want to straighten your right leg, you can, but if it feels too much, if it feels like you're creating stress or strain, you just keep your right foot on the floor. And we relax into this for a moment or two again. So you're not pulling, you're not stressing or straining, you're closing your eyes. And you're just allowing the back of the leg to open, releasing some of the tension from your hamstrings. You regulate your breath. Long, slow inhale. Long, slow exhale. Again. When you're ready, without bending the leg or moving the leg, you just release the belt or the scarf from your foot. We keep the eyes closed and we lower again super slowly. So 5, 4, 3. Try and keep this as smooth as you can, so it's not too fragmented. It's just a really slow lower. 2. At 1, you're hovering just above the floor. And then you're slowly releasing that last little inch or so, all the way down, which is usually a little bit further than we think. Now let both of your legs go. Let both of your legs relax. Notice how the legs feel longer. And then when you're ready, gather your heels in towards you. Put the feet together again. So you make that kind of prayer position with the soles of your feet, but this time close in. So you're in Supta Baddha Konasana. And we're just releasing our inner thighs, our inner leg lines. We're going to press the feet together. Press the outer edges of the feet into the floor, and we're going to lift the pelvis up and away from the floor. So there's a little bit of clearance here between your sacrum and the floor. It doesn't have to be much. You might even feel that your clothes are still skimming the mat, but you're not letting the weight release down. You're hovering just above the floor. You can take your arms up again so you open the fronts of your shoulders, and we're going to stay here for a few moments. So close your eyes, try and relax into it. It's a bit of effort again. And if we can, we stay for another 2 breaths. So long, slow inhale. And a long, slow exhale. Again. Now, we don't drop the pelvis, but we lower very, very slowly. So you are aware of that first moment that your clothes touch the mat. You feel yourself softening into your flesh, and then you feel the bones beginning to sink down. And you let go of your inner leg lines, and this is the nice part. You feel the inner thighs lengthen as you relax all the way down. You feel more open in your hips. You just take a breath or 2 here. Okay, now try not to lift your leg or your foot, but just the right leg first. Slide away that leg so that it lengthens all the way down. And then do the same with the left. Just slide out. And then with the arms, just let the arms come lower. If you have your arms up and over your head, so your arms are lower than shoulder height. If you need here to make any adjustment, if you need to hug your knees in or rock a little bit to release any tension, you could do that. But if you feel that you're absolutely relaxed there in your Shavasana, you can simply stay. So doing whatever you need to do to be comfortable. You can cover yourselves over if you feel that you're going to be a little bit cool. And we just take a few breaths here. You might like to take a big inhalation, again a huge breath in, retain it for a moment. And then sigh away slowly. And with that long sigh, you can let go of the last of your tension or stress. If you need to do that again, you can. just stay here for as long as we need to. So long enough that you feel your body relax. You feel that your mind is quiet and spacious. You continue the practice of releasing and dropping and letting go with each exhalation, so mindfully giving away your tension. Surrendering to the pull of gravity. Know that you can stay here for longer. You can take as much time as you need. If you feel that you're ready, you can move your fingers and your toes. You can take 1 or 2 deep breaths. You might stretch out nice and long, all the way up, all the way down. You maybe gather your knees in towards you and give yourself another hug. Bring yourself slowly up to sitting when you're ready. Bring your hands in front of your heart and just take a moment to notice what you've let go of, how it feels now. You take a bow forward from here when you're ready. And then you bring yourself slowly up. Namaste.